up? Got Ranger 10, Dirt Track, Unit 4, Lynn Holt, Pistol Pete. How are y'all doing? Have a PO7 on my hip. Yep, PO7s are great guns. Hope everyone is doing well. And we are going to have a little drink of Bullet Bourbon. That's a good drink. So what's everybody excited about? Anything? Yep, I am here and present and accounted for and all that good stuff. Did my PT yesterday, and I've got it tomorrow. It's been, I'm starting to walk more on my walker, and trying to take less weight off of the walker and put it on my leg. But man, I've got a really bad hitch in the right knee, just to give you an update. But of course, I don't have an ACL either, so they kind of were like, that's what it's going to do, until it gets stronger. So, and I've never used one before, but, and I feel like I'm 90 years old, but those little walkers that the wheels turn on them, they're kind of like, it's kind of like they have four wheels on it. You just kind of zip around. I got one of those to try it. I bought it yesterday, and they delivered it today. So I'm going to stick it together and see how that works, if that'll, because this regular walker is kind of slow, and I think that one might make me walk more. And it's got the seat on it in case I get tired or whatever, but, we'll figure it out. What's up, Floridian? How are you, man? Ranger 10 says, I'm trying to take Tim Waltz up on saying he can kick any MAGA man's ass. He won't respond. Yeah, screw him. Hello, Ohio Gear Guy. Yeah, he's got a tampon that he needs to use, I'm sure, because he puts them in men's restrooms, so I'm sure he carries many in his pocket. Hello, Rabbi. How are you? I mean, I think I could beat the shit out of him one-legged. You stand up straighter on those types of walkers. Oh, do you? Okay, because I've never used one before. My mom has one, but, I want to, like I said, I just want to try it so it'll kind of make me walk, because with this one, I don't have the tennis balls on the back. I got the little stoppers, and I kind of walk behind it, and I kind of hold it with just my fingertips, just like pinch it. Anyway, so I'm hoping the other one will make it work a little better. What's up, Armsman? How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Y'all need a great holster? Check out the Armsman. A lot of y'all have bought from him. You can use my code, and it just saves y'all some money. It's BJGG10, free shipping, and 10% off if you need a great holster. Pistol Pete says, I feel like libertarians get their way when they won't. Yeah, we need to stop listening to them do that. Yeah, I mean, they're idiots, man. All they can do is say a bunch of gibberish because they can't make sense. Yeah, they can't make sense. But I just kind of bring the heat, meaning like whatever you got, whatever you want to talk about. They did release some of the JFK stuff. 80,000 pages supposedly. It wasn't anything that I kind of didn't already think. I figured there was more than one shooter way back when I was young. I figured it was an alphabet agency. I don't want to say it because, YouTube. But y'all, it starts with a C. I figured there's some shady stuff. Also, LBJ, I figured he wanted to move up the ranks. But anyway. And, kind of going back to it, Miss Marilyn, she was whacked. Because I'm sure there was some JFK pillow talk going on. He probably told her some stuff, and so they whacked her. She supposedly OD'd. I don't know. But yeah, I think they whacked her too. But anyway, as far as any guns or anything like that, anybody seen anything that is exciting? I saw the Canik Prime. Some people have gotten that. and been shooting it and stuff. And I saw Honest, his video today, you know, because I was thinking, it might be kind of cool to try and, compare it against the Shadow systems. I saw Humble got it. And, honestly, he and I already talked, and I'll probably just shoot his, um, to kind of see what I think about it. Not saying I'm going to get one, but, I've been kind of thinking about it. I've been like, man, that might be kind of cool. Um, I just don't know if it's better than the Shadow systems, because it's got the big comp on it. Those are 3 ports. Or if it's equal or the same or less. I don't know. I'm only going by what I'm seeing on video. But as soon as I get up and around, um, I do want to go shoot it. I already thought about maybe, trying out this new glide walker or whatever it's called, roller walker or roller something. If that thing works for me, maybe I'll, throw it in the trunk and I could go up to Texas Gun Experience and maybe shoot. I don't know. I have to get my wife to give me a ride up there. Can't drive yet. Ever mess around with any Dan Wesson 1911? Yes, I have. They're great. I mean, Dan Wesson makes a hell of a pistol. I have shot the Wrath. I don't know if they make it anymore, but it was the Dan Wesson Wrath. I've shot it. It was a buddy of mine's, or a buddy of mine. I don't want to say mine's. Buddy of mine. And there was another one. What the hell was it? The Wrath, and it was the one before the Wrath. Because he got that one, and then he got the Wrath. And, I mean, I like them. They're great, great pistols. I've even shot one of their 2011s. They don't really advertise them that much, but Dan Wesson does have some 2011s as well. I saw CZ is going to have a Shadow 2 carry, which makes 0 sense. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that. What the hell are they going to do? Is it going to be like some 3.5-inch barrel? Or, in a little like 10-round mag or something? If that's the case, yeah, that's stupid. I haven't heard anything about that. Not saying, that they're not going to. I hadn't heard anything. Be interested in seeing it, see what it looks like. The reviews on the MC9 Prime has looked flat to me. Doesn't mean I don't want one. I'm a Canik fan. Okay, yeah, Unit 4. Like I said, I think it could be a very cool gun. I think it's going to sell like hotcakes because of the price point and all the features you get. I mean, the trigger looks really nice, and Canik has been known to have great triggers, so it'll be interesting to see. And I like, like the port cuts and, or, like the little window cuts and, the slide serrations. I mean, the aggressive stippling, a lot of that looks like what I would do to a pistol if I bought one. So, what's up, DB? How are you, man? Good to see you back in the chat. Armsman is getting the Prime. Yeah, especially for you, man. I'm sure a lot of people will want holsters for it. Oh, it has with an anti-decocker. It's really a PO1 with a better grip and optic rating. Well, I'm sure people will buy it. I'm sure they will. Yeah, Unit 4 saying hit that thumbs up. We got 24 people in and only 9 thumbs up. So y'all smash that thumbs up. Yeah, she did shoot that Prime good. I saw that. I was like, damn, she shoots it good. Hello, Clyde Cumberland. How are you? Yes, Gun Nation is in the house. Oh, it's a Shadow with a firing pin block. That's an oxymoron. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sure the trigger is not going to be as good, but, I mean, it is what it is. But did you say it was going to have a decocker, like the PO1? With anti-decocker. Huh, okay. Well, I'm sure people will buy it. I wouldn't. There's no reason for me to have it. I got to get another drink of that. That was good. Oh, I meant to give y'all a heads up. My daughter had the baby, little girl, 8 pounds, 13 ounces. My daughter's really short and petite, but her husband's 6'7". So she had a big girl. Healthy, happy, all that. Everything's great. My wife's been over there this week helping her out. They're not too far away from us, so. And my wife bought a new little chandelier for the baby's room, and I was explaining how to put it in. and via FaceTime and all that other stuff and how to wire it. So she got it done. My wife got it hung up and everything, and works great. Because I can't climb ladders or any of that kind of stuff. So, but she's like, "How? What if I need help?" And I'm like, "FaceTime me." So she was showing me the wiring, and I was showing her how to do everything. Armsman said, "CZ probably heard people being afraid to carry the Shadow 2 compact and decided to make some changes." Yep. I'm sure they probably did. Unit 4 says, "Hard to believe that Canik keeps improving on their already good triggers." Yeah, I mean, I think the trigger looks pretty damn nice on that Prime. I mean, I think it's from the Terran Tactical, tricked out one. Thank you, Ranger 10. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pistol Pete. Yeah, I was gonna say, she's gonna be growing up quick. Yep, Unit 4. That's what I'm going by. Pop pop. Yeah, Canik has came a long way. I got the very, very first gun where it had that goofy little decocker button on the top. What was it, the SF? I got the Canik SF when it first came out. Then they had a recall, but they wanted you to pay to send it in and you to pay to ship it back. And I was like, what? I'm like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen or heard. So I was like, screw that. So I ended up selling it. A friend of mine really needed a gun, and I let him shoot it, and he's like, "Man, I like it." And so anyway, I sold it to him. I gave him a good deal on it. Sig dumpster fire sour. Yeah. Pistol Pete says, "I really like the decocker on the PO7." Yeah, I mean, I don't have to have a decocker. I don't mind a decocker, but I like safeties too. And like I said, I keep the safety off on the Shadow 2 and carry it in the half-cocked position or the quarter-cocked position. So, I mean, that's the way a lot of them carry it over there, and I've never had a problem with it. Looks like a P99, yeah. What does everybody think about the new Smith & Wesson folding rifle in 10mm? Anybody want that? I've got a buddy who ordered one, so we'll see, what he thinks about it when it comes in. So he just wanted to do it, get it to try it out because he likes 10mm. Yeah, it looks like, the 9mm version that kind of has the grip like the pistol and all that. 16-inch barrel, and it folds at the back, but in 10mm. So, I mean, it could have some oomph behind it. So that might not be a bad option. Hell, I could see a lot of people using that for home defense too. Yeah, it looks just like the 9. But, I figured they were going to come out with one in 10mm. I mean, that seems to be, the craze is still on for 10mm, so why not do it, really? Clyde Cumberland says, "Looking hard at it, I think I'd want it in 45. Yeah, I mean, 45 would be cool too, but you just don't really see much other than 1911s and stuff like that. You just don't really see much PCC variants. I mean, a few. I'm not saying none, but you just see more PCC variants made in 10mm now because it's the hip cartridge. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it could work out well, for somebody that could be recoil sensitive or, not. I mean, in that 16-inch barrel with a 10mm. I mean, I think it would be fine. It's not as loud as an AR. That's scary for some people, but it can shoot around corners. Yeah. Didn't have issues. I think there was a recall. I could be wrong. I don't know if the 10mm did. I thought one of theirs. I think they had a feeding issue or something. I don't remember. I know it was on the 10mm pistol. They were having some problems with it, but I don't. Maybe they redid something on this new PCC thing. What's up, Harry's Holster? Yep, 11mm for the win. Hell yeah. That'd be a 10 plus 1. Hope you're doing well, Harry. But yeah, I mean, I think the Canik Prime's going to sell very well. I think a lot of people are going to buy it. It's supposed to release on next month on the 15th. That's what everybody's stating. So I'm sure there's probably already a list for people to get them. They're going to sell. So, because it has a good capacity, it takes the regular full-size mags, which a lot of people probably already have. And you're getting a longer barrel, or I guess the ports or are it at the end of the barrel. Um, and not a shorter barrel and a comp slide like the 365 macro. So, you're probably not going to lose a lot of velocity. And those ports are kind of small though. I kind of wish they would have just done like a big comp, like one big opening versus the three holes. But you know, I guess they're trying to, that wasn't really a big top on the slide. So I guess they were also kind of size challenged there too. But yeah, I'm definitely jonesing to shoot. I am wanting to go shoot so bad. I mean, I've been like, oh, it's driving me crazy. Harry is saying, how do you think the HK CC9 will do once it hits the market at scale? Not a lot on the supply side. I mean, I think the HK's, going to do well. That other one that they have, now currently, I mean, a lot of people who have it seem to like it. I mean, HK makes good stuff. I mean, I've never personally had a problem with any of their products, and I've owned four of them, four HKs. I don't currently own any, but I had the what was it, the 45, the HK. I can't remember the numbers on it. I had the USP, I guess what it was, USP 45 or whatever. Had the VP9. Uh, what else did I have? I think I've had four HKs in my life. I had a 9mm. Oh, did I have the P? Oh, I can't remember now. It's been so damn long. Prime 2.0 with a comp. Yeah. Yeah, Armsman is saying the Fusion XP Pro hype has somewhat faded. I agree with that. I don't really see anybody talking about it anymore. I was even kind of thinking about one at one time. I think you were too. Um, yeah, I don't hear about it at all. JD says the Ruger 5.7. Man, those things are cheap now. You can get them for like $399. There were like a lot of sites that were having them on sale. So I don't know if Ruger's coming out with a new one, a new 5.7, or if they're just lowered the price on them, or maybe they're out of the 5.7 game altogether. I really don't know. What's up, Norwood? How are you? Wondering what 1776 was asked in his interview with the judge. Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet. I probably need to text him and see. Armsman says, not a fan of the aesthetics of the CC9. Reminds me of Taurus. Too much of a resemblance. Yeah, the new one looks like a Taurus, and the one that's coming out, I guess that they at the Euramax show or whatever it's called, it kind of looks like one too. Hello, Lake Ozark guy. How you been? Yep, the Kimbers. I haven't seen any more of those either. That 2011 got some hype, but then it died off. And I saw a video not too long ago where somebody got the new Kimber 2011 in the black, not the kind of gold or silver looking one. And they were pushing it. So, oh, he's still being evaluated in court. He's MIA. That's not good. Message delete. Oh, okay. Pistol Pete deleted. I was going to say, I hope nobody's deleting messages, but he deleted himself. Hello, Rich B. I'm doing well, sir. I hope you were doing good. Okay. Looks like y'all are using those wrenches out there because I see somebody was deleted. Yep. Throw them out. They probably offered him a plea deal. They're probably like, hey, we'll move you out of New York. I had to carry it in the Yeti in my walker so I could put the top on it. I like glasses, whiskey glasses without tops, but I had to do it on this one so I could carry it in the walker. What's up, US Vet? How are you? Yeah, it has been a minute. I'm hanging in there, sir. Walking with the walker and trying to progress every day. So we'll get it there. Oh man, had a homemade stuffed green pepper for dinner tonight. One of my faves. Yeah, I make a pretty good stuffed green pepper too. I love those stuff. I get like 6 or 8 of those big old suckers and fill them up and then bake them. Man, they're awesome. That sounds really good, man. That's New York. And then like I even said on the chat when I was talking, to him and all of y'all, I said New York is doing this kind of crap just to try to get good people, good gun law abiding people, to not want to go through this. So they'll just say, "Man, I'm not going to go through that crap," and try to give up their guns. That's all they're trying to do. Make it more difficult for good law abiding citizens while they let hood rats and criminals do whatever they want to do. Lynn Holt says, "Any interest in the Mac DS comp? Then what about bolt on comps thoughts?" For me personally, I don't really have any interest in it. I saw it, or I mean, on video. The guy that was shooting it seemed to like it. Said that it was a good gun, and there are supposedly no mem parts in it. The trigger wasn't that great, which he stated. But I don't think there's, if that's what you want to get and the price point, hopefully you could even add parts to it if you wanted to put an EGW ignition kit in it. Excuse me, and an upgraded trigger. I think you could do that. I haven't heard, but some of it might not be just as easily dropped in, but some of the stuff you'd have to fit. But I mean, I think it's like right at $1,000 or something like that. I mean, I don't think it's a bad option for some people. The only thing, and I keep going back to this, all of those that I've seen in the past, they'll start out at $1,000, and then it seems like 3 months later they're like $699. So you're going to get $1,000 pistol. Say you put an EGW kit in it and a trigger, then you've invested like $400 more. If you ever want to get rid of it, you're going to get like $400 for it. It just doesn't hold a name, a value name. And I'm not saying that you have to buy premium or any of that. I'm just saying, there is resale behind a name. So, if you're looking at it as an investment, I wouldn't recommend it. If you just want it as a toy, or do you want to try a 2011? I mean, that could be an option. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying for me, I don't have any reason to have one personally, other than just buying it and playing with it. But I would compare it to my better ones that I've already upgraded and put money into. I have them with a 2.5 pound trigger that could have a 6 pound trigger or 5 pound trigger. So which one am I going to enjoy shooting more? Probably one of my other ones. So I'm starting to look at things that way versus just buying stuff to have it. Kind of done with that. Not that I have been doing that recently at all. I don't chase the next thing. That's not what I'm about. But I'm really starting to look at, do I really need it? Does it fill a niche? Is it kind of a must have for me? And if it's not, I'm not interested in getting it. But, I would, if someone bought one and I shot it, I'd probably look at ways to tinker with it or something like that. Harry said he should move to Puerto Rico. I saw a lot of holsters down there. Yeah. Hello, Pranic. How are you, man? Yep, you made it. Good to see you, sir. You ever stuff red peppers? I've done red, green, and yellow. So I've done them all. I've made them to where I do 6 of them, and I'll do like a red one, a yellow one, a green one, red one, yellow one, a green one, Matter of fact, we had some left, and my wife loved them when I made them. Made them a bunch in the past, but I hadn't made them in a long time. And before I hurt my knee, I had made a batch. These were huge. I mean, these things were like freaking monsters. And I made a batch of 6 of them, and I think we ended up eating like 3 of them, and I gave 3 of them to my daughter and her husband, and they loved them. Rich V says, "Are you full weight bearing now using the walker? When could you start full?" Yeah, I am full weight bearing. I've been that for a while, but I still have to use the walker just because I don't have the balance. I don't have the strength in the right leg, but I am putting all the weight on it. Like when I go to the bathroom, I've got the walker, but I am standing up without the walker. using the restroom, stuff like that. But it's weird, you know, because I can tell the right leg doesn't have the strength or the stability, you know, since I'm missing the ACL. When I walk, I can feel it, you know, I can feel the kneecap going down. So it doesn't feel normal. It's not pain where it's like, oh my God, or anything like that. I can just feel the clunk. And so it's very weird. And under it, where the ligament is, I think it's a cruciate ligament or whatever. It's that tendon that comes up right into your kneecap. Mine has been poking out because when I walk, I think the kneecap kind of bangs on it. So it's been, but it doesn't hurt to touch it or anything. It's just poking out. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah, Colorado's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Clyde is saying, someone help me in deciding which attachment to go with on a suppressor. Chemo, Xeno, or Plan B. I mean, all of them are pretty popular. But, you know, I've got the cherry bomb stuff, so I'm probably the wrong person. But I know Harry's got a lot of those options, so if he's still on, he could chime in on that. I'm probably the wrong person to ask about that, Clyde. So I just don't have a lot of experience with all those, and y'all know if I don't, I'll tell you. I like the red, yeah. I think the red is probably my favorite too. I mean, I like the green, but I like the red. In my opinion, it tastes a little sweeter, but I guess it depends on where you buy them too. Yeah, Harry says he's got his 10.5 300 blackout mounted on the walker in a scabbard. Yeah, I thought about mounting it on the front with a little, you know, like a little swinger. That'd be pretty funny. US Vet says, I'm making it. I'm having a flare in my wrecked bum foot, hoping to avoid a below knee amputation. God dang, man. That sucks. Hang in there, brother. We'll be praying for you. Unit 4 says, my West Virginia relatives always made delicious cabbage rolls. I haven't been able to duplicate them. I've had cabbage rolls, not that I've made them, but I've had some. They were, I think it was, I was at a German town for like German Fest or German, I think it's German Fest. And I had some cabbage rolls. They were pretty awesome. Harry said, buddy bought a used C2, sold to buy a CS, and broke even. There you go. Oh, I think I know that buddy because I remember him having a C2 if we're talking about the same person. Pistol Pete says you should sell a couple and get an Atlas. I have videos where a buddy of mine, Jacob, he had like 3 or 4 Atlases. I compared his Atlas to my Shadow 2, or excuse me, my TSO CZ, and then my MPA. And my MPA, you know, this was me, not a professional shooter. This was me shooting the MPA and his Atlas at the same time, same place, same distance, and the groups were exactly the same for me at that time. And I didn't have any time behind the Atlas, but and it was I mean, he had the like Athena. Oh, it was the Athena. That's the one I shot. He had a Titan and an Athena and some other ones. But he had 2 Athenas. That's what it was. But you know, I mean, it shoots great. I love the grip on it because it had the palm, you know, where you could change out the little palm swell things. I mean, they're great guns, but for, you know, the price, I was kind of looking, okay, does it justify the price for me if I can shoot my MPA just as good? Not really. Um, so, I mean, I'm not saying don't get an Atlas. They're fantastic guns, but for me, you know, I don't really have a reason to have one, honestly. Does that mean you're going to sell some guns and buy a Korth? Korth or not? Korths are really nice. Lynn says, well, the 2011 arena is crowded and some are making promises so far. Some have had failures, and the others seem to be clawing out the market. Yeah, I agree with that. It is flooded. Matter of fact, the prediction of 2024 for you know, God, what is it? The gun show that we just had. I keep wanting to say SEMA because I went to SEMA. SHOT Show. When we were talking about it prior to SHOT Show, I said this is going to be the coming of the 2011 again, and it has. Dennis says, has anyone tried to remold a Kydex holster with a heat gun? I have an MR920 with ramjet. Don't want to buy another holster. Yeah, I've done it before with a heat gun. You know, just kind of hit it a little bit, put the gun in there, and kind of pressed on it. You know, just kind of be careful, and depending on the type of Kydex they used and stuff like that. You know, but of course you got two Kydex makers on, or holster makers on here. You got Armsman and Harry's holster, so they're going to be able to steer you exactly the right way. Yeah, it'll cut holster life down. That's what I figured. Yeah, US Vet. I was gonna say you gotta definitely stay off the foot. Plan B or Reardon, same pattern. Keep the mounting system simple. Yeah. Rich B is saying, is an 8.5 inch 300 blackout too short? 10.5 better. 8.5 is not too short for 300 blackout as long as you have the correct barrel twist. But the shortest I will go, and it's really due to my arm length, hand size, things like that, is a 10.5. And I do prefer to have a little more velocity. I know it's not a must with a 300 blackout, but the lowest I'll go is a 10.5. That's just me personally. But I mean, I have friends who have the 8.5s. I've shot a 7.5, and it's pretty freaking short. I mean, for me, I felt like I was mag gripping it, like, mag well holding it. It was just too short. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the twist rate and stuff like that, too. PSA runs some great deals on their brands. Yeah, they do. I mean, you can get some good deal. Who needs a stinking reason to buy a new gun? No, that's what I'm saying. Anybody needs a gun, grab it. I mean, I'll never tell anybody not to buy a gun or, oh, you don't need that. I'll tell people what to do. What's up, M. Gabriel? How are you, man? I heard of the first Korth issue. The cylinder wouldn't lock up. Of course, it's being taken care of. A man builds it, it can break. Yeah, that's true, but man, that is the first time I've ever heard of a Korth issue, too. Hollywood is saying, what's up, chill pill? We're just great, but if you want to get, I hope you're here to talk about guns and talk about stuff like that. If not, need to move along. Yeah, Unit 4 says always feel better after an hour of range therapy. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, when I go, I mean, depending on how long I can stand in one spot or, kind of go back and forth, I'm definitely wanting to do some shooting. It's like my ears are craving to hear some noise too. Rich V says, good point. I am 6'6". So, where did he go? Oh. No, I guess it was deleted by a ranger. But yeah, I mean, having a little bit of length on your hand guard is never a bad thing. Also, you've got to think about it. If you ever had to, mount your hand guard, like say on a wall or on a car door or whatever, I always think it's better to have some hand guard. Um, that's just me personally. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. All right, we got 27 viewers and 22 thumbs up. I appreciate it so much, y'all. Yeah, and I did get another package since I've been down because I was waiting on it from Lock Grips. And if y'all are needing anything from Lock Grips, mag wells, pistol stands, you can use my code. It's BJGG10, and that'll save you 10% off. But I did receive another mag well that I was waiting on, a different color, for the Shadow 2 Compact because I like to mix and match them and stuff like that. So I did get another one. Oh, okay. Ranger 10. Gotcha. Thanks, man. Okay, here it is. Pistol Pete says, I am 6'6", so 10.5 might be better. What twist rate recommended? I mean, if you can get a 1 in 5 twist, they say that's the best for 300 blackout. I've got a 1 in 7. I've got a 1 in 6. What else do I have? I have another one. 1 in 7, 1 in 6. Maybe the other one's a 1 in 7? Because I've got 3 of them. I think it's a ballistic advantage. I think it's a 1 in 7. I think the one I'm thinking about is. So 1-7, 1-7, and a 1-6. But yeah, I was gonna say if you're 6'6", I wouldn't go shorter than a 10.5 for sure, because I'm only 6'3". Oh, he said he's not 6'6". He was joking with me. Armsman said I just might be the shortest one here. I'm sure there's some short people, man. Nothing wrong with that. It's the way God made you, man. I did have a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine that I went to high school with, and I was 6'3" in high school, and he was 5'6", 5'6", and anyway, he's like, man, I'm tired of looking up at you, and I was like, dude, no big deal. Yeah, Unit 4 says I wouldn't mind if all of Hollywood would go away. It wouldn't hurt my feelings either. Wouldn't fit in your Chevelle or Chevette. That's true. Oh boy, hang on. All right, yeah, I was gonna say I was launching him too. So, let's see here. Don't need any of that kind of stuff in here. In your Chevette. That's another thing, man. I miss driving. I'm ready to drive. I got some tires to burn off. Matter of fact, this is really crazy. Since I've been not able to drive, I checked my wife's tires on her car, the hopped up one, before I hurt my leg because, I just go around and check the tire depth and all that other stuff. And, she's been taking me to PT and all that other stuff. And I noticed, looked at her tires and I'm like, holy crap, in 3 months, you've burnt that much tread off those tires? And she's like, oh, I haven't been peeling out. And I'm like, yeah, right. And Harry Holster saying, Rich B, if it's a bag gun, go 5.5 or 7.5 and suppress it. Get it as short as you can with a can, or get it short as possible with a can. That's true. I still, for me, I would go 10.5 and I still use my can on mine. Oh, Rich B says, look at this straight. I am the 6'6" guy. Okay. Then yeah, you would probably appreciate a little bit more hand grip or hand guard. Harry says, Armsman, everybody in the gun industry is under 5'5" or over 6'3". I'm literally the only one in between at industry events. Yeah. Also, one thing that I appreciate, I don't, it's really weird. I think it'd be the opposite. And I've got some bigger hand guards, but I don't really care for them. But, the hand guards, even having like an XXL hand, I prefer the skinnier, like that big of the hand guards. I don't like those big old school quad rails and stuff. And I have a couple of them. I'm just not super fond of them. Because when I see clamp, I really crank down on that thing. I mean, not that I have to or anything, especially on a 5.56 or a 300 blackout. But I do prefer a skinnier handguard for some reason. It's weird, but You know, I guess it's just preference. People have different preferences. Unit 4 says, took the Mustang out for the first time a week ago. Was rewarded with a leaky water pump. $600 later. Damn, that sucks. What engine is it? 4.6 or the 302 Boss? Or 302? Cloud says, I have a 7.5556 as well. Put me in an 8-inch 300 blackout on it with a 1.5 twist. Damn, a 7.5556? That's freaking short. I bet you that thing's a flamethrower and a freaking loud ass gun. Yeah, hell, I've only bought one thing since I've been down, and it was that Cloud Defense ELP, and I won't even get that thing till freaking this summer sometime, I guess is what they're saying. But I'm excited to get that light too, pistol light, because y'all know I like dots, lights, stuff like that. But I really do want to run. And they were saying, oh, it's going to go in standard holsters, you know, common holsters, blah, blah, blah. Well, I watched another video where they were talking, and it's for duty holsters, like stream safari lands and stuff like that. And I'm like, shit. So I want to get it so I can figure out, you know, if any of my holsters will fit the damn thing. What's up, Rodama? How are you? Rodama says, Big J, gun show at Will Rogers was crazy crowded. So bad they had to open up the underground garage under the gun show. Yeah, I saw somebody was there. They were filming. I think it's that OB guy. I can't remember his channel name. But he was saying the parking lot was packed and they were turning people away and all that other stuff. And that's usually a good show. But I didn't know how it would be here recently since the gun, you know, everything's, you know, they're giving away a bunch of stuff. So, but that's cool. I guess you went, obviously. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that it's getting some traffic. That was always, used to always be a great show back in the day. But then I went to them, what is it, like a year or so ago, and it was not that great. But that, or maybe it was 2 years ago. It's the last time I went. What's up, Scott? How are you doing? Says got his P99 holster from Armsman today. There you go. There you go. In case y'all are curious, the gun sitting over here is the Shadow 2 Compact in the Armsman holster. So that is the pistol of the evening. Or I guess for the last since Sunday. I had the Glock 19X a couple of days last week, or I think over the weekend, and then I got the Shadow 2 Compact out, I think Monday. Rodimus says I got there at 9 o'clock and parking lot was full except for underground. Picked up a Beretta A300. There you go. Got you a shotty. That's cool. Yeah, I haven't been to that show in a while. But I did say, man, as soon as I can start walking like a normal human being, you will probably, I might be doing live chats while I'm walking because I don't know if I'll ever sit down again. This is driving me crazy. Josh B says, where is Grandma? Oh, your grandma? I didn't tell you? She's right down here. Scott79 says the internet is killing gun shows. Ordered a Beretta APX A1 compact tactical shipped under 4 bills ship. Yeah, it is. You're from Afghanistan. Okay. It was the 17th of December. I think that's when it was. I think it was the 17th of December, Pistol Pete. Something like that. So it was the week before Christmas. That's Saturday before Christmas, or Saturday before Christmas week. So instead of ringing a little bell, you can just fire a few shots into the floor when you need something. Yeah, I could do some desk pops. Pop, pop. Yeah. No, if I rang a bell at my wife, she'd be like, who the hell do you think you are? Holy crap. Twisted Metals of Texas. Damn, dude, long time no see. How have you been? Says, good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Yeah, man, it's good. Hope you were doing well. Long time no see. It's probably been, what, 3 or 4 years or longer? Damn, man. Scott says, why would I want to pay money to get into a show that I know if I go directly to the store, I can pay 15 to 20% less than at the show because they're trying to recoup their pricing for the tables? Yeah, I used to go to gun shows and I would take, some old stuff that I didn't care about, and I could get some really good trade values towards guns that I was buying correctly. I'm not dumb. A lot of us, that do this a lot are not dumb. And you kind of know what online pricing and stuff like that is. But I used to get some good deals and I could get rid of some stuff I didn't give a crap about. So, but I used to like to just go and look around, really. I'd pay $5 or whatever, not $6, whatever it was, just to walk around, and I'd go with friends, and, we would hang out and then go to lunch afterwards and just do shit like that. Rodimus says, nice thing about buying from a gun show or mom and pop shop is you get to handle and inspect once you buy. Buying online can be a crapshoot, and that's true too. Matter of fact, and it's the same at some of the gun shops. Like if they've got 3 or 4, say, Glock 19s, you can go through them and pick the best trigger, because sometimes you can get just one trigger that's better than others. So sometimes it gives you a choice. Arms was saying gun shows aren't fun anymore, a waste of time. Yeah, and it also depends on where the gun shows are, and like Will Rogers, the one he's talking about, is usually one of our biggest gun shows. And also, I know manufacturers that build guns that go to it to sell their guns. So I've got a guy that builds ARs and AR9s and stuff like that. So I always used to go out there and just want to see them and stuff like that. Twisted Metals of Texas saying, yes, sir, it's been a while. Good to see you. Good to see you too, sir. And at gun shows, sometimes if you're looking for some just crazy, like old school gun, that you just can't find, sometimes it'll just pop up and be laying right there on the table. Like old revolvers or old 1911s, or, if there's a part you might need or a magazine that you're like, man, they don't even make mags for the gun that I have anymore. Sometimes you can find them at gun shows and decent prices. Lynn Holt says, saw a video that was saying that select models are unavailable as a new type of panic buying. I see more ammo and firearms stocked in these retail warehouses. Man, they are having some crazy ammo deals. I saw Blazer Brass the other day for like $219 for 1,000 rounds. And I'm like, yeah, keep on going. They didn't have a free shipping on there, so the shipping might be freaking $40. But, I've seen some decent prices. Hopefully it keeps going down. Yeah, Pistol Pete said, yeah, cheese curds in Wisconsin are no joke, man. Those things are awesome. Every time I went to Wisconsin, I used to get cheese curds and spotted cow. That's a beer that they have there. It's pretty good. I'm not even a huge beer drinker, but I did like the spotted cow. Virginia gun shows have gone down big time. Let me catch back up here. Yeah, the Oklahoma gun show. I've only been to it once. What's it called? I can't remember the name of it. Not Pace. That's a swap meet for cars I used to go to all the time. But yeah, it's the biggest gun show in Oklahoma and Tulsa and all that. That is I've only been to it once, but man, it's a huge freaking gun show. Yeah, but the thing for me, and of course it's for everybody unless you live in Oklahoma, but if you buy pistols, I can buy rifles and shotguns and long guns. But if I buy a pistol, I gotta freaking ship it to my FF or have them ship it to my FFL. Is kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, and the Will Rogers one, man, it fell way off. I always used to like going to the Fort Worth one. Market Hall was just, man, they would have some gun stuff, and then it was like a bunch of bullshit, like these holsters you put in your ball sack and go halfway down your leg, and it's some, you had to pull the strap to pull. It was a bunch of crap, and beef jerky, which I love beef jerky, but and purses and stun guns and all that kind of shit. They used to have, and I'm sure they have that at regular gun shows too. But it was half the market hall was a bunch of bullshit, and then the other half was, or the other half of the side, they would only do half the building, but it was a bunch of crap, like just shit guns. Wasn't any great stuff. Yeah, let me catch back up. Chocolate licorice? Ooh, I don't like licorice. Watermaker. That's it. Watermaker. Yep. Yeah, but or Wanamaker or Watermaker or whatever. Yep, but that's the name of it. I mean, I used to go to Sugarland all the time, but I've never been to one of their gun shows because I'm usually not there on the weekends. Pistol Pete says you guys use shot timers at the range. I mean, I have one pack. I've used it occasionally, but if there's a lot of people in there shooting, sometimes it doesn't work that great. And I've set par times like in my room when I'm here by myself, but then it freaked my dogs out, so I had to tape the shit out of it because they don't like the fire, whatever you call it, the smoke detector. They think it's the smoke detector, so it freaks them out. Yep, 590A1 is the shit. I love mine, but mine's not the retro, but I do like the retro. Rodimus says the last gun I bought online was a CZ P10F, and when I opened it up, it was missing iron sights completely. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, Colt screwed that one up. Holy crap. Yeah, Colt doesn't care about quality at all, or hasn't recently. I had a buddy who got a Colt. I think it's a Colt Grizzly. I think that's what it is, the revolver. And man, he was like, it had like chatter. It had these chatter marks around the cylinder, and oh, he was pissed. And so he called them and got with their customer service, and he sent it back. And I think they told him they're going to replace the cylinder. It's just got, I mean, it would probably still work. He didn't shoot it. Um, but anyway, it was pretty janky. He sent me pictures of it, and I'm like, man, it shouldn't look like that. It looked like they used a really shitty dull bit, is what it looked like. But I'm not impressed with any of their new shit anyway. Harry says the new Colt revolvers were solid for a while, but I'm hearing more reports of issues. Yeah, he got that. He got the Grizzly when it was released. He thought about it, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get it." And then he ordered it, and I think it took like his gun store didn't have it. He ordered it, and I think they had to get it, and it took like, I don't know, 3 weeks. And by the time he got it, he went and picked it up, and he just kind of looked it around. He didn't open up the cylinder or anything. Then he got home, and he's like, "What the hell?" Rodimus says, "Hey, Big J, we need to meet up in Decatur, Fossil Point Outdoor Range." That's cool. Yeah, when I get back on my feet, I will hit you up. I think I still have your number. I'm pretty sure I do. I would check, but I don't know if it'll kick me off this chat because I'm on my phone. They removed the mag? Damn, Armsman, I didn't. I was gonna say you're in Florida, dude. What the hell? They're probably just trying to keep those mags and resell them. Pistol Pete says, I've had very few problems with the old CZs. Really can't believe they could mess up how good of a roll CZ was on. It's Colt, man. They screwed their pooch on their company. CZ bought them, and now they're doing the same shit to CZ. So, you know, nothing surprises me with Colt. PSA is releasing their 545 Crink on Saturday. Well, there you go. That's cool. If you're a Crink fan. I've heard good things. You know, I mean, I've heard some good things about PSA AKs, and I've heard a lot of bad things. So I really don't know. I'm not a huge AK guy. You know, y'all would have way more experience with that than me. I've only owned like 3 AKs in my whole life. So, and I don't own any now. So I sold my Sega because it was the non-retroed. It was the rifle. It had not been retroed into a full AK or regular AK, and I got really good money on that during the situation. Pranic says Colt or Sig, Big J. Well, y'all know who I would pick. I'd pick Colt. Scott says if you get a good PSA one, you should be good, but if you get a bad one, you're going to need that lifetime warranty. That's what I've heard. So, well, put it this way. If it was a SIG metal gun, like their 226, 229, you know, I guess it would be depending on what I was getting. No, I will not do Olight. And that's funny that you say Olight. They hit me up for the longest time wanting to send me the O sight, the big one and the little one. And I was like, do y'all not remember me? You know, but they kept hitting me up. And I was like, no. You know, and yeah, I could have just got some O sights, you know, 2 of them and tried them and beat them up and all that stuff. And then, or whatever, giving them away. But I'm just like, man, I don't want to be on their list again. And if you own Olights, I'm not beating you up or anything. I'm just saying they're not for me. No, don't really love Olight. Sig remembers, yeah. Yeah. But we are getting close. It's 7:57. Anything that you're looking forward to, or you're wanting to get, or you're hoping comes out, or like, man, when that comes out, I'm going to buy that. Yeah, it ends today. Yeah. Scott says, I got to play with one of those Beretta BRX, one straight pull rifles. I want one super smooth action. I bet it is super smooth. Straight pull, can't beat that. Clyde says M&P Metal Series is pretty impressive. T-Sauce BR9R Bull Barrel. Yeah, I've seen those. I'm sure they're going to sell them, and I'm sure people are going to buy them. I mean, it's great that they finally did do the bull barrel. Oh, has X-Ring been checking out the O sights? Matter of fact, I think I did get something where he dropped it on his FN or something. I think I saw that. I haven't watched it. Armsman said, I'm waiting for the new P320 Gen 2. I need to use a shooting stick. I have tripods. I've got 2 of them. I like shooting from a tripod. I've used one of those shooting sticks before. I'm not super impressed with them. It wasn't mine. A buddy had them. I wasn't super impressed with them. I guess in a pinch it would be better than nothing. But, you know, if I'm hunting a wooded area, I would hope a tree limb might be the perfect one versus a shooting stick. But I do like tripods, but a lot of people don't like carrying them around. CZ is releasing a P09C threaded barrel, SR. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, the P09 and P07, or, you know, the new Nocturne, I mean, I'm sure they're great guns. I know Honest had a problem with his. I don't know if it was related to the optic or not, you know, with extraction and stuff like that. But, you know, I've had people, or I've heard from people that have the Nocturne and they really love it. Um, Matter of fact, the person that I know, he bought the C first because it came out first, and then he recently got the F, and he likes both of them. He likes them a lot. Oh, Andy says I lost my left arm, so I'm not used to it. I understand. Totally understand. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're in that situation, I could completely understand that. I had to launch one. Derek says, "What's your go-to pistol?" Whew. Um, I mean, I have a lot of them. I do rotate. You know, go-to. I mean, I really, really like my Staccato C2. Um, I've carried that thing for a really, really long time, or used to. Prior to this accident, I carried it a lot. Um, but I'm really liking that Shadow 2 compact a lot too. So I guess it, you know, I guess it depends on where I'm going because I do kind of account for capacity and things like that. I want maximum capacity. And the Glock 19X that I have with the Radian, I really do like it as well, and I'm not even a Glock guy. Trolls or bots, yeah. Rich V says, love my Nocturne, 0 issues at 1,000 rounds. Yeah, that's good, man. US Vet says, I'm itching for my first 45 caliber handgun. Probably G41 or Rock Island Armory 1911 or TSOS. Yeah, I still love 45. A lot of people don't, but I do. It is the Shadow 2 compact. Clyde. Scott says, been carrying my VP9 a lot lately. Yeah, I mean, that's a cool gun. Derek says, good taste. Those are my favorite models in those makes as well. Yeah, I mean, they're great guns. It's a C, okay? God's caliber. That's true. They made 45 because they did make a 46. 2 world wars. Yeah, I mean, I still enjoy 45, especially when I shoot it in the STI, my old school STI that I had, you know, modified, customized, whatever you want to say. That is a great shooting, 1911. A lot of fun. Matter of fact, I only have two 45s right now. I got rid of a couple of them a while back before I got hurt. But it is 8:03. We will shut this down unless there's any quick questions. But I really appreciate everyone being on. Always is a great time. We got 33 people on, 32 thumbs up. I definitely appreciate it very much. And also, like I'm saying now, you know, if you have a family member that's hurt or injured or whatever you haven't talked to in a while, you know, please reach out to them. Let them know you care about them, stuff like that. You know, you just never know. Armsman saying Staccato HD hype is fading also. I don't think it's doing as well as they expected. I don't either. I don't either. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate it. He just subscribed. Yeah, you're always welcome here, sir. We'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Hello, Redbird. How are you? Thank you very much, Harry. I appreciate you. Yep, she is the apple of our eye. Um, she doesn't even know it, but she already has a lot of guns. So hopefully, when she gets older, her and Pop Pop can go shoot. We will learn her up. Yeah, she is going to be a shooter. For sure. For sure. She will definitely know how to protect herself. But yeah, I appreciate it so much. You know, like I said, y'all really make this happen. And as I go forward, when I start traveling and stuff, just so y'all know, and you can kind of get used to it, I have decided rather than carrying a whole nother computer and webcam and all that other crap with me, I'm probably just going to be continue to do it from my phone like this. It is much more convenient for me. I hope it's good for y'all too. Um, you know, hope it works out well and you get your questions answered and things like that. But yeah, I'm just going to keep doing it from my phone, even as I go forward and able to walk and stuff better. It's just much more convenient for me. And again, I don't have to lug around another computer because I already carry one for work. So it will be easier. Um, but I appreciate y'all so much. Leave a thumbs up. And if you have any questions after the chat, please leave it. I'll go back and check them. And if you want to use Armsman code to get a great holster, it's BJGG10. That'll get you 10% off and free shipping. If you need anything from Lock Grips, that's BJGG10. That'll get you 10% off anything from Lock Grips. So I appreciate y'all if y'all support those companies, and also for Impact Machine. If you need any slide milling, custom work, anything as far as guns and also optic plates, you can use my code BJGG10. Saves you 10%. I don't make money on a couple of these, so it's all for y'all. They're just companies are giving y'all the discount codes. So, but use them up. Matter of fact, I've got another thing. As soon as I get a little better, I've got a project I'm going to be doing with Impact Machine as well. Hey, what's up, Donnie Cluck? How are you, man? I appreciate it. But yeah, I've got another project I've already thought up, and we're going to do that with them. So, pretty excited about working with them again. And if there's anything y'all need, reach out. I appreciate it so much. But remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care. Have a great night.